It was a day like any other. The sun rose over the bustling tarmac of Santiago International Airport on June 5, 2023. Families embraced, business travelers checked their watches, ground crew performed their final checks. Among the many aircraft preparing for departure was Meridian Airlines Flight 301, a state-of-the-art Boeing 787 Dreamliner. Its destination was Auckland, New Zealand, a long but standard trans-Pacific journey. Nothing about the morning suggested that this flight would be anything but ordinary. It was just another dot in a sky filled with thousands, a testament to modern engineering and human connection across vast oceans. No one could have known it was about to become a legend of the unexplained. On board were 239 souls. Captain Eva Rostova, a veteran pilot with over 15,000 hours of flight time, was in command, joined by her experienced first officer, Ben Carter. Tourists eager to see the famed landscapes of New Zealand, families returning home after a long vacation, scientists heading to a conference. Each person carried their own stories, their own hopes, and their own destinations beyond the airport gate. The cabin crew moved with practiced ease. The plane felt safe, it felt normal. It was a metal tube filled with dreams, hurtling toward a future no one could foresee. The flight path was straightforward, a great arc drawn across the South Pacific. It was flying toward a designated yet unofficial patch of ocean known to pilots as Zone 301, an area notorious for unpredictable magnetic fluctuations and strange atmospheric conditions. As the plane entered this region, it was unknowingly flying into the heart of a mystery. The final communication from Flight 301 was anything but alarming. It was a standard check-in. Captain Rostova's voice, calm and professional, crackled over the radio. She confirmed their position, she confirmed their altitude, she reported smooth flying conditions.
Auckland Control, this is Meridian 301 maintaining flight level 350. All systems nominal. Weather is clear ahead.
It was a textbook transmission, and the last anyone heard. Moments later, something changed. An unscheduled transmission was picked up, garbled, broken.
Sky is not right.
Then only silence. Controllers called, Meridian 301, do you copy? Meridian 301, acknowledge. Auckland Control, over.
No reply. The transponder went dark. On radar the blip vanished. It did not deviate from course, it did not signal an emergency, it just disappeared. The moment Flight 301 vanished from radar, a monumental and desperate clock began to tick. The initial response was swift. An international search and rescue operation was launched, coordinated by authorities in New Zealand, coordinated by authorities in Chile and Australia. Military aircraft were scrambled from bases across the region, tasked with an immense challenge, to find a needle in a haystack the size of a continent. The search area was vast, a desolate and unforgiving stretch of the South Pacific Ocean. It was a place where waves could swell to the size of buildings, and where the nearest land was hundreds if not thousands of miles away. The hopes of finding survivors rested on finding the plane and finding it quickly. The teams flew in grid patterns, scanning the endless blue. They were looking for the telltale signs of a crash, an oil slick, a field of floating debris, a life raft, the bright orange of a flight data recorder. The technology deployed was the best in the world. Satellites were retasked to scour the ocean from orbit. Ships with sophisticated sonar began to map the ocean floor. Operators listened for the faint ping of the aircraft's emergency locator beacons. Everyone expected to find something, but as the first day turned into a second, and then a third, the ocean offered nothing but a profound and unnerving silence. After nearly 2 months of fruitless searching, a breakthrough seemed to arrive. A piece of debris washed ashore on a remote beach on the coast of southern Chile. It was a composite panel, scorched and twisted, bearing markings that appeared consistent with those of a Boeing 787. Hope surged through the investigation. Was this the first piece of the puzzle? The fragment was carefully collected and flown to an analysis facility, where experts from around the world gathered to examine it. The families held their breath, waiting for a definitive link, for the first tangible proof of their loved one's fate. However, the analysis brought only deeper mystery. The material composition was a match for a Dreamliner, but the serial numbers stamped on the interior of the panel did not correspond to any component installed on the aircraft registered as Flight 301. In fact, they did not match any Boeing 787 in service anywhere in the world. It was a ghost component. Metallurgical tests revealed exposure to temperatures far exceeding that of a typical jet fuel fire. The burn patterns were bizarre. An instantaneous, intense heat source. The debris was from a 787, but it wasn't from their 787. This discovery turned the investigation on its head. Where did this piece come from? Was it a deliberate plant or something stranger? Over the next year, more pieces of this phantom wreckage appeared. A cabin wall in New Zealand, a winglet on a remote island. They were from a 787, but none could be traced back to the specific aircraft that had disappeared. In the absence of concrete evidence, speculation rushed in to fill the void. The most straightforward theory centered on a catastrophic mechanical failure, a sudden uncontained engine failure. Shrapnel could have torn through the fuselage, severing critical hydraulic and electrical lines. Another possibility was a rapid decompression event, perhaps caused by a structural weak point. This could have incapacitated the pilots in seconds, leaving the plane on autopilot until fuel exhaustion. These theories are plausible, but they do not explain everything. Modern aircraft have redundant systems. Flight 301 sent none. And while decompression could explain the lack of a mayday call, it does not account for the final garbled transmission about the sky, nor the reported green light. Another prominent theory involves the weather. The South Pacific can generate rogue systems with terrifying speed. A microburst or violent localized event could have overwhelmed the aircraft. Such forces could, in theory, break an airframe mid-air. But even a violent storm should scatter debris over a findable area. The complete absence of confirmed wreckage makes the simple mechanical or weather scenarios hard to accept. Either the wreckage lies in a concentrated spot sonar missed, or it simply isn't there. Both theories provide rational frameworks but crumble when confronted with the odd debris and the total lack of evidence. The perfect storm would have to be perfect in a way we cannot comprehend. Theories hold, but questions remain. The mystery persists. When conventional explanations fail to fit the facts, the human mind naturally wanders toward the unconventional. The mystery of Zone 301 became fertile ground for theories that push the boundaries of our known reality. The zone's reputation for magnetic anomalies led some to speculate about a powerful, naturally occurring electromagnetic pulse. Could a sudden fluctuation in the Earth's magnetic field have instantly fried every electronic system on the aircraft? This would explain simultaneous failure of communications, the transponder, and flight controls, leaving pilots no time to react. This theory offers an explanation for the electronic silence and suddenness. A powerful magnetic event could theoretically wipe systems clean, but there is no precedent for such a natural pulse. Modern airliners are shielded. Experts have no history of a geomagnetic event capable of bringing one down. It doesn't explain the strange green light witnessed by the naval vessel, nor the anomalous serial numbers on debris. With odd evidence and phantom debris, more exotic theories emerged. The idea of extraterrestrial involvement, once fiction, was discussed in hushed tones and on internet forums. Could the green light have been an alien craft? Was Flight 301 abducted, taken for reasons beyond comprehension? To some, it is the only explanation that fits a silent disappearance, no wreckage, and strange lights. Of course, such theories lie far outside scientific proof and are impossible to verify. They are stories we tell ourselves when faced with a terrifying void, and they persist because official explanations feel incomplete. Today, on August 31, 2025, more than 2 years have passed since the disappearance of Meridian Airlines Flight 301. The official investigation is closed, the active search has long since ended, and the world has largely moved on. Yet for the families of the 239 people who were on board, the mystery is a wound that will not heal. They live in a state of perpetual limbo, suspended between a past they cannot reclaim and a future they cannot fully embrace. Without answers, without a final resting place, there can be no closure. They are left to scan the horizon, forever waiting for a sign, a piece of news, or a discovery that will finally bring their long nightmare to an end. The world watches for any new lead. The disappearance left an indelible mark on aviation. It served as a stark reminder that despite technology, our planet remains vast and mysterious. Aviation authorities mandated new tracking standards requiring more frequent position reporting, but these are solutions for problems we understand. The puzzle of Flight 301 suggests a problem we do not. Zone 301 entered modern myth, joining the Bermuda Triangle in the public imagination. Pilots who fly the route speak of it with reverence and apprehension. They look at their instruments a little more closely. The zone has become a character, a silent, enigmatic force. Was it merely the backdrop for a tragedy, or the cause? The story endures not as a closed chapter but as an open question. We may never know for sure. The truth, like the aircraft itself, remains lost in the deep, silent expanse, waiting to be discovered.